This week, the Buffalo Bills take on the Cleveland Browns. Today's special guest, Bills running back number 34, Thurman Thomas. From Network in downtown Buffalo, it's Bills Sneak Preview with Jim Kelly.
Hey, what a great crowd. Hello again, everybody. Ed Kilgore along with Jim Kelly, and welcome to Sneak Preview here at Network. And do you still get excited about the Monday night games, Jim?
I do, but not quite as excited as I used to get when, I guess my rookie year, well, we weren't really in Monday Night Football. We really didn't play too much my rookie year, but as a high school kid, as a college student, as a player, you always thought, maybe one of these days I'll get to play on Monday Night Football. Yeah, you still get a little excited about it, but not quite as much because Mondays is just so long. You got to sit around your hotel room, twiddling your fingers. There's no games on like Sunday. Say if you played Sunday night, you were able to watch the games on Sunday during the afternoon, but on Mondays you got to sit around the hotel and do nothing. So that's the only downfall with Monday night games. But it's a national audience. It's a time to make a name for yourself if you're a young player. And it's time to get excited about what's at hand, and right for us, what's at hand is the AFC East.
Well, and of course, the Cleveland Browns, like a touchdown favorite, is also a chance maybe for you to make a statement nationally. I think the club, internally, you feel like you're maybe where you always were, pretty close to that, but nationally, you're not looked upon that way. Is this a chance to make a little bit of a statement? Maybe a little bit.
I think that at the beginning of the season, everybody was talking more about the Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots. They sort of counted the Buffalo Bills out. And, you talk to Thurman, you talk to Bruce, you talk to Cornelius, Ken Hall, guys like that. All of a sudden, we like being in that situation because not every team is out to gear for us. Not every team knows that they have to play their best game against us. Yeah, it is a time to show the national media, the national people out there that the Buffalo Bills are still here. Yeah, we maybe don't have quite the offense we had once before when we had James Lofton, we had Will Wolford, and Howard Ballard, but we still have a heck of a good offense. But one thing we do have now is a solid defense, and I'm excited about it. As far as working, I saw the way through the football, and I knew that I wasn't going to get a shot to be the starter for like 2 or 3 more years. So I just hope that one of these days I can look up on that wall of fame as a fan, look up there and see my number up there, right beside number 12, Joe Ferguson.
Well, I'm on the Wall of Fame committee, and if you play your cards just right, you may have a shot.
Oh, and please.
Yeah. So far, you're on track. Okay, we're going to be back to talk to Thurman Thomas coming up next, right here on Sneak Preview. Be back. Thurman Thomas is our guest, and Thurman, I know, not that you would ever pay any attention to this, but the offense has gotten off to a slow start. The focal point, beside the passing game, obviously,
watch what you say, Ed,
is the run. I know I have to be careful, but no, I mean, a lot of people are saying, hey, does Thurman still have it? And I know you feel you have, the coaching staff feels you have, but does it get a little tough to stay positive? Do you find yourself maybe pressing a little bit, or do you figure if you just keep hitting the holes, pretty soon they're going to be there?
Well, actually, during the bye week, I went back home to Houston, Texas, and really looked at some films, and I was really trying to press a little bit. And I watched the Carolina game, and I watched the Denver game, and I was really trying to press, trying to do a little bit too much and not playing my game, type of game that I would like to play. And I found myself doing that, but now, after the bye week, I'm relaxed now, and now that we have our line intact now, Ruben's been able to come in and have a bye week and get used to the offense more and more. And I think now overall, I'm ready to go now.
He now knows how I feel. I mean, Thurman, I'm 35 years old now. I've been hearing that for 3 years. You think his arm's going. You think he's been beat up too much. Now you're going through the same thing I've been going through. But the thing about Thurman is, you think of Thurman Thomas, you think of running the football. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, when we played against the Colts, you got the running, I guess, the run blocker of the game. You had to pick up like 7 or 8 times. You had to pick up the blitz. I mean, you're called upon to do so many duties. Do you feel you still can do them? I mean, last week, I guess you proved it.
Well, yes. I still think I'm capable of going out and getting 100-yard games rushing. I think I'm still capable of going out catching 5 or 6 balls a game. And like I said, the offense hasn't been going as well as we'd like it to be going right now, but who can complain being at 2-1? We know that, you know, I'm off to a slow start, Jim is off to a slow start, Andre is off to a slow start. You know, if we can get those three players right there involved in the offense more and get more yards and go up and down the field more, we know everything is going to look better for us.
And I know that, as you know, you're on the media side, and I guess I am to a certain point, I have my own show, but you look at and you hear so many things about the two-back offense. You hear so much about the K-gun. You hear so much about me saying I want to run the K-gun. You talk about the slow starts. Thurman just alluded to it a little bit earlier about the slow start not only Andre and himself has, but myself included. I think that the K-gun is suited us. I think that everybody in our offense feels very comfortable with it. The two-back, do you think you're getting, I guess, more people looking towards the run a little more, trying to stop it when you are in the two-back offense?
Well, I think so. You know, when I'm back there and with Caldwell Gardner back there, you know, it's pretty obvious, you know, who's going to get the football.
Me, I'm going to carry it, right?
No, not you, me. But, you know, Caldwell's going to be the blocker, and they're going to bring up 7 or 8 guys to the line of scrimmage. And when you have that situation, it's very tough to run in. And I think going into, you know, the game against Cleveland, you know, we're going to do some different things. But when we're in that two-back offense and we have Caldwell Gardner back there, it makes my running game and offensive lineman blocking scheme a lot different. So, like as Jim said, you know, the K-gun with the one back has got us to 4 straight Super Bowls. You know, that's our real main offense. And in order to get the running game going, I think we have to start with that first.
Thurman, it's not a big secret now that the rookie Derek Holmes, I know what the Bills want to do is try and get you and he in the backfield at the same time. Now, you've watched this 7th-round pick out of Portland State come along. Sometimes he hits the wrong holes and does some crazy things, but it must be fun. The kid obviously has got something special, though. He's not your normal 7th-round pick.
No, he's not, and I think he was probably the steal of the draft now, especially being, you know, here with the Buffalo Bills, being with Elijah Pitts, the running back coach. This guy is unbelievable. You know, when Kenny Davis was here, I was always saying, hey, let's get me and Kenny into the game at the same time. But now with this guy, you know, he's 6'2", 240, 245 pounds, that run about a 4.3. You know, when I saw him explode like that in the preseason, I started scratching my head like, oh, my God, I got to take my game to another level, 2-3 and punt. So I think whatever is going for us, that's the offense that we should use.
I tell you what, you talk about some of the guys we faced before, and you know some of the guys you're probably going to have to block every once in a while, but 2 names that come to my mind as far as looking at their defense, Carl Banks and Pepper Johnson. Have they changed? Have they got a lot older that they can't play?
No, they've gotten a lot older, but they can still play. These 2 guys right here, when you look on film, they're throwing their bodies around like they're 25 and 26 years old, and I think that comes from being with the system that Bill Parcells had when they were at the New York Giants. These guys are playing very inspired football. They got a great defense, but those 2 guys right there are the leader of their defense.
The one thing they're doing very well, they're taking the football away. You look at the stats, and their defense isn't really ranked that high.
Exactly.
I think they've got 8 interceptions, and that sort of filters over into your territory, Jim, something to be concerned about. And they have a couple pretty good safeties back there.
One thing that, you know, Thurman even alluded to it a little earlier, we tried to stretch the defense last, I guess, 2 weeks ago, I should say. I mean, they have 2 great guys. They have Eric Turner, number 29, and Stevan Moore, number 27, which has 4 interceptions this year. One thing we felt the teams were doing against us was squatting their corners. We were running 10 to 15-yard patterns. They weren't respecting our deep balls. So what we thought we had to do was run some down and outs, run some hook and goes. I think we did do that against the Indianapolis Colts, and they started respecting us. And then we started hitting the underneath patterns. All of a sudden, you might see a Derek Holmes in at fullback, splitting Thurman Thomas out a little wide. Something Thurman, you special teams.
No question about that. Thurman, thanks for coming on, and best of luck tomorrow night against
Thanks, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thurman Thomas.
Okay, we'll be right back. Interchangeable. I mean, one looks just like the other, and they both run hard.
That's one key to their offense, is being able to get a guy in there that's fresh. It reminds me of the days last year, the year before, of when we had Thurman Thomas and Kenny Davis in the same backfield. One gets tired, one might get nicked up, the other one can come right in and really never miss a beat. And I tell you what, offensive linemen love that when a running back's able to hit the hole quick enough and make those big yards. So this is probably the key to our defense. Talking with Bruce Smith, Bryce, and Jim Jeffcoat during the course of the week, they thought that the key to this game was to stop their running game, because you got guys like Horde and Ernest Biner that can run the football as well as they can. all of a sudden you're starting to key on a run, boom, Vinny hits either Jackson or Andre Rison for the big play. So they have a very balanced attack.
Speaking of Andre Rison, they really haven't, now they have the touchdown here, but he hasn't really broken loose for the deep stuff that normally you would see him do, and I'm sure they're going to try to do that tomorrow night.
Well, they have to. I mean, it's prime time. Andre Rison is a type that loves to be in the spotlight. He's a heck of a receiver. I think it was a very good pick for the Cleveland Browns. I would love to have another guy like an Andre Rison on my team. I have some great players, but you always would love that extra receiver, and he gives them a little extra that they need to get over the hump. And yeah, he started out slow, but last week he had 4 or 5 catches, a big touchdown play that you just saw. But you never know. I think sooner or later he's going to break out, and he's going to be the Andre Rison you saw when he played for the Atlanta Falcons, catching those 80, 90 passes. He probably won't have that many catches, but he will come up with a big play. I just hope he waits till the following week.
There you go. Take a look at the a pattern that the Browns are doing here offensively that shows how little deception can work to fool a defense, and you can pick this up.
Here's a good example. I mean, you look at the basic play from the sideline as a fan, you'll see, okay, a little underneath pass, and they get on a big third down play, they get enough yards. But look here, you have 4 wide receivers to the right. It's not your usual 4 wide receivers. It's almost like a stack, a cluster, which is we call it. 4 wide receivers. Everybody going tight end coming down the middle. I mean, one receiver going out wide. All of a sudden, you get a guy going in motion across. You look how confused the defense is now. Number 24, confused. The middle linebacker, if we run this back, number 50, he has no idea what's going on. This is something that the Cleveland Browns try to do in particular situations, especially on third down. They try to confuse the defense. And this is what I feel they'll try to do against the Buffalo Bills, because we have such a fierce pass rush that you got to try to hit those short, shallow passes for the big play.
All right. Well, Jim, best of luck, and we'll be right here again next week to talk about the victory, hopefully.
I keep my fingers crossed, but just remember one thing. We're going to Dog Pond. I think we can do it. Last time we were there, I think we won 42-0. But that was then. This is now. I'm looking forward to. Hopefully we can turn it around as far as offensively. Get back to where we once were.
There you go. All right, that does it for this week's Sneak Preview with Jim Kelly. We'll see you right here next week. So long, everybody.
Bill's Sneak Preview has been brought to you by Wegmans, food you feel good about. Set furniture provided in part by Mackey Business Products. And in part by Radco Design, custom furniture for your home or office. Promotional consideration has been given to Continental Airlines. More airline for your money.